Often, when I question something morally troubling in religious texts, people say, without God, you have no basis for morality. Let's unpack that idea. Imagine you're on a desert island, alone. No other people, no sentient beings, just you and the waves. What would right or wrong even mean there? Morality is about how we treat each other. It only makes sense in a social context where our actions affect the well-being of others. Let's talk about deontology versus teleology. Deontology is about following rules just because they're rules. Religions like Christianity, Judaism and Islam are deontological, rule-based. For example, if the rule is don't lie, then a strict deontological approach would say you must tell the truth no matter the consequences. So when the Nazis come knocking, you'd have to say, yes, someone's in the attic, because the rule says no lying. But a teleological approach focuses on outcomes. In that same scenario, you'd lie to protect someone because the goal is to maximize well-being and reduce harm, not just to blindly follow rules as religions command. It allows for nuance and situational ethics. So what I'm proposing is a teleological objective morality, one that judges actions by their consequences, specifically their impact on well-being. The goal? To maximize flourishing and minimize suffering for conscious beings. Now, some argue that without God, it's all just moral relativism, that choosing well-being as our moral foundation is just a subjective preference, a matter of opinion. But here's what they miss. They're making an equally subjective choice. In fact, a far more subjective one. They're choosing which God to follow from thousands of claimed deities throughout history. Then, they're choosing which interpretation of that God's will from countless competing versions. And even if they could somehow prove that their specific God exists and clarify exactly what he wants, all they're really doing is pointing at that being and then defining good as whatever that guy likes. That's pure subjectivity, defining morality based on the preferences of a particular entity. At least when we ground morality in well-being, we're anchoring it to something we can observe, measure, and verify. The actual experiences of conscious beings in the real world. The choice of well-being isn't arbitrary. It's the one thing that virtually all conscious beings demonstrably care about, regardless of their beliefs about gods. And if biblical morality is so objective, why do Bible-believing Christians disagree on so many moral issues? It's not as clear-cut as it seems. And here's the key. Under a teleology-based objective morality, actions are accountable to the real-world outcomes you're trying to achieve. It's about improving well-being. Simply trying to please a deity is completely unaccountable to any tangible outcome. That's why a focus on well-being is a stronger and more accountable foundation. In the end, objective morality isn't about blindly following rules. It's about aiming for the best outcomes for everyone, and that's a more reliable, compassionate, and accountable foundation.